was passed. AISPE is one of the larger SPEs in the Livepeer ecosystem, and their proposal for further funding for the next 4 months was ratified by the community. So that's really exciting, and congrats to the team. And also, a new SP popped up, the Agent SPE, was also ratified by the community. So, really exciting stuff. Existing SPEs also posted their January accountability reports in the governance forum. So we are trying to create rituals and practices around bringing more transparency as it relates to Treasury Fund recipients. And so those reports are really essential, and you can always jump in the forum and take a look at those. We'll be going deeper into this, but more than 5 new SPEs are in the pipeline, which is really exciting. The Livepeer ecosystem is growing super fast, and of course, GovWorks is guiding them through the process from start to finish. Also, really great, and thanks to the community and events teams for implementing our multi-streaming strategy. The January Treasury Talk now has over 1,500 views and counting. And the aquarium rebrand to Streamplace, like I said, Eli will be sharing more about that. And then, really interesting, Doug, co-founder of Livepeer, started the discussion about another high-priority SPE, the Protocol Security SPE. So that is also really interesting. And this is just a little overview. The SPE dashboard is found in the Governance Hub, and it's just like a quick bird's eye view of what is happening in the SP pipeline. Really quickly, if anyone does not know what an SP is, maybe you're tuning in from like Twitter or another multi-streaming platform. SPEs are special purpose entities, and they are vehicles for funding. So essentially, they act as fund allocators for the Livepeer Treasury. This is in a bid to change the funding mechanism to be more sort of expertise based. So people who are aligned in expertise, aligned in objectives, can come together and form these special purpose entities, request funding from the Livepeer on-chain treasury, and work on initiatives that boost Livepeer's growth and evolution. So you'll find SPEs across various domains. We have things like the AI video SPE, the cloud SPE, agent SPE, like I mentioned, and they're all working to further the growth of different aspects of the Livepeer ecosystem. And yeah, we have a few upcoming SP proposals, quite a few in the pipeline. And yeah, next we will just be hearing from one of them. Hadrian is here to present on his idea for a DevRel SPE and Livepeer. So yeah, take it away, Adrian.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you, everybody. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Neoma, for setting this up. So I'm excited to present you the DevRel SPE pre-proposal and then hear your thoughts about it. Before I get started, I can tell you a bit more about me. I'm Hadrian Royo. I'm a recovering film producer and director. I've been building in Web3 since like 2001. Yes, yeah, a long desert. I used to be a creative director in a motion agency, and I used to taught film and post-production at NYU, where I also kind of graduated from. I made a podcast, and I've collaborated, been involved with some of the projects that you see here. I think for us, what's most important is the work I did with Eigenlayer, with Nader, Dabbit, and then most importantly, now I'm currently working with the ELIZA framework, and I'm helping them bootstrap something that could be relevant for us here, and I'll get back into it towards the end. The SPE was originally called Empowering Creative Developers because that is where I believe there is a current gap in the communities of AI and Web3 at large. Another way to say it is like there's not a great place right now to learn and share experiences on how this stuff works well. There's not a great place to like get started with Comfy UI and at an intersection with AI agents and generative AI. And then, for me, it means ELIZA and Comfy UI. A lot of people think DevRel is like a bit about shilling the project you work for and pushing devs to use it. That's not how I see it. That's not how we see it at Eigenlayer either. It's about meeting where devs are and doing our best to kind of support them with what they want to do now, even when that means helping them on something tangential to Livepeer in this case, because you just have to unlock them and help them move forward. So next slide, please. This is having to recognize. So yeah, this is where basically I think Livepeer has would be a good strategy, is like to try to be the place between those two communities that currently right now do not talk to each other and do not exchange to each other. There is a lot of like back end partnerships and deals happening with teams, but like on the learning thing and the community side is just not much, not a good place for people who want to work in both. And Livepeer, especially with the ISPE, which is the one I know well, is kind of like poised to, especially the community side, poised to kind of fill up that role if it wanted to. But concretely, what I mean by helping them is recognizing when a use case is served better by another product or a different team. And it's also like helping them, imagining and inspiring them to do what's next. Like, so for example, I created a plugin for Eliza that creates a private virtual credit card so that the agent can use. It has nothing to do with video and my background or anything like that. But it's like, okay, so we have an agent, what do we do with it now? And so having this conversation, and I think is, something that people will always go back to and create a very sticky community. Now, I've talked a lot with N and Neoma, and I realize that there isn't also a need for just like pure DevRel and support of other SPEs as well. The one that I know the best is the AI Agent SPE, and I think this kind of like supports it well. I've heard the transcoding SPE also might be a good relevant thing for us here. So I'm looking forward to kind of like learn more if this is something that other SPs wants to join and or needs help. And as for me, I'm currently developing this thing at Eliza, so it may impact my availability for executing line by line every piece of content. So I may or may not want to move it in more leadership position for the DevRel. However, I think this could be in the long term very valuable for the SPE if we wanted to. For example, these are just two ideas, not relevant for right now. If we wanted to create a DevRel agent, or if we wanted to create close partnership with studios that are like specialized in building this stuff and have a lot of traction and growth capabilities. So this is a little bit my spiel, and then really, thank you so much, and thank you so much, Neoma and Titan, for the feedback, and those are the people you should 100% talk to.
Which is sweet.
In support to these SPEs. So I'm happy to take any questions you might have, or let me know how I can help. But that's how that's my spiel.
Very exciting to think about the prospect of a DevRel SPE. I remember we had discussed this really briefly in Monday's water cooler chat, and the other SPE leads that were in attendance thought that it'll be a really great idea just for overall benefits to the SPE ecosystem if this could actually become a DevRel SPE for other SPEs. So kind of like you said, any SPEs that are building out tools that might need, some examples built on them, or tutorials, or, general pieces of content that we could push out to the world and, bring better visibility into all the great things that are happening in the Livepeer ecosystem. I think That's really cool. I think another thing that, I know the proposal has evolved a little bit, but I'm really curious about your idea of a creative developer. If you can speak a little bit more to that.
So it comes from the fact that AI is going to change how we create. So artists, and there's going to be a huge generation of people who are coming to the AI space and the generative AI space that are not trained engineers. And same thing on the Web3 side. I mean, I wasn't a trained engineer, and I started to learn, and AI helped me a ton in the past 2 years to just be able to build stuff that are pretty advanced. And so I think a creative developer is somebody who is thinking about the user. It's ideally exactly the guy who's building between Livepeer and the end user and trying to make this stuff really interesting for consumers and people. And they're creatively minded, and they may not be deeply interested in engineering, but they're deeply interested in making a product that people love and are delighted by. And maybe are using AI to code and to build their project. Maybe they're alone, maybe they don't have friends in developer community. Maybe they're like building things and they get stuck on Python and they need help with this one thing. Maybe they just, they have this vision, they just, there's this one thing that's blocking them. Um, Maybe they want to do something with Comfy UI, it's just not coming out right. And, all they need to know is like how to use this workflow or plugin that they haven't really quite gotten their mind around. So the only way we can unlock these is by connecting them together so they can learn from each other. Somebody like Ryan, I was in the Comfy UI hacker program. So I know there's like creative minds like Ryan who are like also super, super deep into Comfy UI and how this whole thing work. And then, so he would be like, he's also like really a good developer too, but this is the kind of person I have in mind.
And just a comment for me is you know, from the community side, as how to community at Livepeer, it's I think a missing piece of our community for sure. Somebody who is not employed by Inc., but employed by the community for the community, to start to push forward, um, you know, connecting with people. I'm semi-technical myself, less technical than Hadrian, but it's important that we have somebody who can jump into spaces like we have the Comfy Share and Study every week. And then, the AI agent SP has other technical, like kind of DevRel requests that need to be done. So I think there's a really important space that this can fill in. And of course, I think in terms of DevRel for marketing, right, you can really start promoting the community. These people can be like, pseudo ambassadors for Livepeer as well.
I mean,
Go ahead.
people are struggling to get their projects seen. So that's the role of communities, right? It's like
100%.
what are we all collectively building here, and can we, I mean, you know, Eigenlayer did like several demo days that had nothing to do with Eigenlayer, just AI
Right.
agents. I think if we can build a place where people can meet each other and yeah, and learn from each other, I think this is gonna be a really good growth engine as well.
I'm taking a digital marketing course right now, and there's an idea called like uh, branded content, where you're not necessarily leading with Livepeer, you're leading with value. And I
That's
think,
great.
having that focus here at Livepeer will really accelerate our community growth, one, our AI developer community as well, and just the overall vibes here, right? I think the more helpful we can be to the larger, real-time video AI development ecosystem, the stronger we can be. And the other piece I wanted to say from an industry, Web3 industry perspective is, um, we need more people who are going to be dreaming about the intersection of what currently is and what can be. And I think a lot of the focus tends to be on people who are super super technical. My perspective over 2025 is we need to have a renewed interest in creatives who are going to build products that are going to be utilized by consumers. So of course, that's beneficial for Livepeer, because an app that is, built on Livepeer, that is, using real-time video AI, that is using transcoding, will increase the fees on our network. So I think that there's, this overemphasis, and again, as someone who has a degree in STEM, like there's an overemphasis on the technical, when that is important. And also what is important is having, business people, creatives, dreaming of ideas and having the support to execute them. So yeah, I'm excited for this, and I think it's a really strong proposal. Congrats, Hadrian.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there's like this. If we believe AI is gonna code for us and like he's gonna start to build things for us, then we have to rethink what it means to code. And the new coder is people like you, and that's people who are just like, hey, I want to do this. I want to feel more creative. I want to start building, and you're already like, I mean, I saw what you did like in the Comfy UI program, and that was really advanced and hard. So yeah,
Much
congrats. I
appreciated.
mean,
Any other
only
questions or comments for Hadrian before we keep it pushing today?
Breakdown on what that creative developer is. Anyone has any further questions, please drop in chat. But we will be supporting with the further shaping up of the pre-proposal for the GovRel SPE, and that'll go in the forum where you can ask like even further questions and give more feedback. I know that a lot of other SP leads were super interested in this, so would love to hear you guys chime in either now or at a later date. But in the interest of time, we will be progressing on to the next pre-proposal presentation, and I will actually be presenting this. Thank you so much, Adrian. Hadrian. And I will just try to stay under like 10 minutes. So yeah, I am presenting on establishing the GovWorks SPE, a meta governance SPE for Livepeer. I'm joined by my colleague, Jose, on stage, who is also chairing GovWorks alongside myself. And we've been doing a couple things in the Livepeer ecosystem to support the sustainable allocation of LPT to the community, to build public goods, and to aid in the proliferation of the ecosystem. So yeah, just want to break that down for you guys so you know what type of value we can bring to the ecosystem. So what is GovWorks? GovWorks is a governance working group that is created to oversee Livepeer's governance processes and support the sustainable allocation of Livepeer's on-chain treasury. So essentially, we are the SPE for SPEs. We provide structure, resources, and accountability for other SPs in the ecosystem. And you might, already have seen that demonstrated. Maybe we have been in touch with you one-on-one, or you've seen our discussions in like the governance channel, and so on, with folks looking to come into the Livepeer ecosystem, excited to contribute. And our job is essentially to create a pipeline for them to pass through and actually succeed in contributing valuably to the Livepeer ecosystem. So why GovWorks? What is the rationale behind this? The Livepeer Treasury over time has accumulated LPT that can fund public goods and drive growth, but this treasury actually remains largely untapped. We've seen some really great activity from existing SPEs, but like we, continue to reiterate, there's just so much potential. I think activities of current SPEs also breed grounds for new SPEs to take over certain things. Inc. has been so far really involved in setting objectives and really like setting the path for what SPs could look like. But really, this needs sort of a community effort in terms of taking stock of the ecosystem, identifying gaps, and being empowered to push forth with those. So the low community engagement, lack of clear governance processes have led to an underutilization of Livepeer's resources. So GovWorks is here as a dedicated governance entity with the right expertise to build out the tools, frameworks, and processes needed for the sustainable and transparent allocation of LPT. So yeah, that's what we've been
And
doing. We've been, sorry.
yeah, just a quick comment from me. You've been when you're finished with the slide. Sorry.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. And I also want to emphasize that, from the Inc. side, and especially from Doug, there's a very clear mandate that, he wants the community to continue to further decentralize itself, and the community to take ownership, in partnership with Inc. Um, take ownership of the future of Livepeer. So, and this is kind of, for one of my goals as this head of community, I really want to see, um, dreaming and autonomy increase, amongst us. And I think, the agent SPE is a great example of that, right? That was not on the roadmap for Inc. However, the community felt, and, of course, Titan, Phoenix, and others felt like it was an important, Define as well, felt like it was an important step. So definitely, for folks watching, in Discord and on Twitter, like, it's important that, we continue to attract minds who are interested in dreaming what Livepeer can be, over the next 10 years.
Absolutely. And it's really great, honestly, to see the progress that's being made so far with, folks like the transcoding SP popping up because LivePair's stack has changed a little bit. And Ink is, sometimes not maintaining things the way they used to, but there are still people building on these stacks and it still needs maintenance. Or the open source software funding that is looking to reward contributors that are building open source tools and infrastructure that Livepeer depends on. So yeah, really great directive from Inc. and the community, starting to take on more and more of that role. And so, how does GovWorks actually help with this? We are providing hands on guidance to help SP proposals succeed and deliver real value. So, providing feedback, edits, comments, and so on to really just help shape things up. We're simplifying the processes to keep proposals moving efficiently. And that, entails things like defining a clear governance timeline, what constitutes as a proposal that is ready for voting, and so on. So really bringing our expertise from Stable Lab, working as chair in GovWorks to share our experiences, our learnings from working with other DAOs and support Livepeer in shaping up these governance processes. We're also ensuring that, sorry, previous slide, ensuring that all the LPT allocated is spent responsibly and is aligned with ecosystem priorities. So constant check-ins, transparency reports, like I said previously, creating these rituals that fund recipients can adhere to. We're also keeping orchestrators, SPs, delegators, and the general community engaged and informed. That entails things like, hosting this forum like Treasury Talk, or being active in the governance forum or in the governance channel within Discord. And then, overall, this is helping to build a governance framework that is balancing efficiency and growth with community oversight. So what have we done so far? We've been engaging in the Livepeer ecosystem. Well, Stable Lab has been engaging with the Livepeer ecosystem, and our engagement was seeded through Livepeer grants, starting October of last year, actually. So we've done a couple things just to lay the foundation of what GovWorks could be and all the things we've set out to achieve in 2025. Some of that is launching the Livepeer Governance Hub. There is a QR code that you can scan right there to show you the Governance Hub. It is a repository for resources and tools for SPEs. There's a contact form. There is an SP dashboard, like I showed you earlier, just to take stock of what SPs are doing and what the ecosystem is currently looking like. We've managed to optimize governance and accountability frameworks, hosting Treasury Talks. Since we kicked off, 3 SPs have been passed. The first is the E Squared, the Education and Experience SPE, led by Origin Stories, and then the AI SPE Stage 3 proposal, as well as the Agent SPE. And these are contributors that have been in the ecosystem even long before we came about, but it's been great to support in the ways that we can. And then also supporting the over 5 new SPs in the pipeline. I think it's more like 6 or 7 that are in draft or pre-proposal stage, which is super exciting.
And one note for me here is that, we're also going to be doing a monthly, GovWorks kind of working session, And that can be a time for workshops about what an SPE is. It can be about ideation on SPs. It can be about identification on what's missing in our ecosystem and what might benefit those gaps in terms of an SPE created. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for folks to step up and to start really determining, the destiny of not only Livepeer's network, but the community at large, and creating more opportunities for high quality contributors to come into the ecosystem. And I see we have a question by Daryl. What is the general funding ranges for SPE proposals?
There actually isn't quite a set funding range. Funding proposals or funding requests are evaluated by the scope of the SPE and also the timeline with which you would like to implement your objectives. So we've seen proposals ranging from 3 to 4K LPT to some, like the AI SPE, which is like a much larger SPE requesting, in the tens of thousands of LPTs. So it really just depends on your objective, the priority of the objective, and the scope in which you're working.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'll add is, a lot of it is about goodwill built too. If you come in to the community and you're asking for 10,000 LPT and have no social proof, that's a much harder ask than the AI SPE, which has been led by Rick and is of course expanded over time, which has delivered incredible things for the community and really accelerated the growth of AI on Livepeer's network. So I think definitely take that into account when you're thinking about, what price tag for an SP is feasible for where you are in community standing.
And on that same point of goodwill, right? I'll be touching on this a little bit later in the slides, but I think coming into the Livepeer ecosystem, there is currently an emphasis on launching new SPEs to fill in gaps, but there's also opportunities to build goodwill and social reputation by actually working with an existing SPE. So there's actually a bounty board where certain SPEs are listing out tasks that community members with the right skills can pick up. And this is just a way to start building goodwill with the community, showing what you can do. And then if it's feasible to launch your own SPE along and build the team, within that, then, we can also support you with that. So some of the key deliverables for GovWorks in H1, which is essentially the timeline within which we are requesting funds. We are looking to further standardize proposal templates and the frameworks. Our overarching goal is to support and launch 10 plus new SPEs in Q1 and even more in Q2, of course. Implement the contribution efficiency framework, which is the accountability framework for SPEs. We're publishing monthly governance digests just to keep folks up to date and abreast of what's going on in terms of funding, and then creating a pipeline for community contributions to existing SPEs, like I just mentioned. The governance structure, it'll consist of a 5-member committee. Really great to have 2 Livepeer Inc. Reps on board, and we will also be looking to recruit 2 community members who can volunteer their skills once we put that call out if the proposal is ratified. So yeah, really appreciate everyone's experience in the community. There's folks that have been contributing to Livepeer for so many years before we even, got here, and it'll be great to have some of you on board. And our funding ask and the breakdown, we are requesting 9,000 LPT. This is just a brief overview of the breakdown, and you will find in our proposal that'll be posted on the forum shortly, essentially what each role will be doing, the scope, and the deliverables that will be expected from each person. And yeah, if you have any questions for me as GovWorks chair, or the general idea of GovWorks, feel free to drop in chat. I'm also happy to take questions in the governance channel, and if you want one-on-one, also readily available for that. I hope that the work that we've done so far has proven our capacity to further support SPEs as we move along, and that the feedback that we've given to SPEs in the pipeline is, helpful in shaping what your SP could look like. I think Raf is typing something. I'm not sure if that is a question, but I'll just hang on for a second there. Oh, well, thank you. GovWorks have been amazing in supporting our pre-proposal. Yeah, really excited to see that pre-proposal coming up from Refraction. I think, we've talked about it a lot in previous Treasury talks, and it's really one key piece that will connect what's being built in the ecosystem to the cultural component and the folks who will actually use this tech. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue working with you all. And yeah, great to hear that feedback. Moving along in the interest of time, would love to welcome Eli from Streamplace, previously Aquarium, to share an update on what's been going on there. Take it away, Eli.
Thanks very much. Can everybody hear me okay? Awesome. Yes, so first, very briefly, I talked about this on some previous Livepeer call, but we were previously Aquarium, and we had had decided to rebrand as Streamplace after several unsuccessful attempts to get people to spell aquarium.tv correctly over voice chat. I said, nope, this is no good. Thankfully, I had an old project of mine prior to Livepeer was called Streamplace, and I held on to the stream.place domain. Easiest thing in the world to remember, easiest thing to spell. So we're going with that. So nothing else whatsoever changing about the project. Same personnel, same goals, same everything. Just strictly a rebrand from Aquarium to Streamplace. Right on. Yeah, I just like putting this out here. So what have we been up to? Really brief overview for folks. Most people here are probably familiar with me looking at the audience, but my name's Eli Mallon. I've been working with, I worked for Livepeer Inc. for 5 years. For the last, getting on 3/4 of a year, I have been working on Streamplace with funding from the Livepeer Treasury, which has been amazing. It's got us up and running. We've done things like invent this new form of decentralized broadcast, where basically you take a live stream, you slice it up into 1-second MP4 files. All of those files are signed with a C2PA signature, and then you can distribute them all over the world. Have someone you can download these live stream segments from sketchiest website in the world.ru, and through the magic of digital signatures, still be confident that you're looking at the right thing. So we're looking to build a true decentralized alternative to platforms like Twitch. Can we go to the next slide? Awesome. So what we've started with is live streaming targeting Blue Sky's protocol, which is an emerging decentralized protocol for building what they call billionaire-proof platforms that can't be taken over by one person and change all the rules on that sort of thing. So lots of milestones on the way there. We have just opened up our pilot beta program. I'll post this on here, but which is to say it's open source software. Anybody can download the node and run their own. So the beta program is sort of in scare quotes for that reason. But for folks that are looking to stream on the hosted platform, that will be running on stream.place. I just posted some links in the chat, and there's an invite link there that you can sign up for if people would be interested in doing that. Also, our app available for download on the App Store and Play Store. And we will be opening up to streaming. Actually, just the day before yesterday, we had our first sort of beta user actually run a live stream through the platform. So very, very early, but some very exciting results coming through there. Yeah, so just going through this here. So we're to the point now. I'm really happy that we're getting past the part of the project that's like me alone coding in a room. And I've had just about as much of that as I can do, I think. It's been really exciting getting other eyeballs on the project, getting more people participating. We did our first event up at NW Hacks in Vancouver, which is a big student-run hackathon up there. Getting a bunch of people interested in the project, gave away some merch. Yes, the correct question in chat when transcoding. So we needed to get streaming working first is the short answer to that. There was no point in having transcoding if streaming in and playing back wasn't happening super consistently. So that's the next part of it here. So what is next for Streamplace? We are in, and this is where I actually need some feedback from the community. So it's been me working alone for a really long time. We want to bring more people onto the project. I've gotten used to speaking in the royal we as Streamplace for a lot of this, but with some exceptions, most of it has been me going through and building out the platform as it is so far. So we're to the point now where I would like to bring some more people on. A front-end video engineer and designer that can build out the React Native and web platforms that we're building as the client. A back-end video engineer, somebody that knows a lot about the nuts and bolts of slicing up the video and using GStreamer and all of these sorts of things. And a protocol engineer that can help us really dig deep into the app protocol, dig deep into what some of these signed primitives accomplish, that sort of thing. Yeah, I need this is where I need feedback from this community because obviously so you know we're to the point where I need to start figuring out how we're going to raise more money to bring these more people on. And I would love to hear more from you know, as our sort of our exclusive funder so far. I would say definitely the Livepeer Treasury has sort of right of first refusal, if nothing else. I've also been like sort of preparing for, you know, this is a company we're probably going to be talking to investors too and that sort of thing. But I would love to start with the Livepeer community here. So I would love to get feedback from the Livepeer folks and everybody around here on what they think of our work so far. Are they excited about it? Is it something they would be interested in continuing to fund? I'm conscious sort of that it's a social video play. It's a decentralized social video play. And you can streaming this there now. Oh, thanks, Rick. Yeah, I should have been doing that too. That was appreciate that. We're not specifically focused on AI, though I think there's plenty of room for there to be like live video AI integrations between what much of the community is working on now and sort of the social streaming platform that we're building. So yeah, that's sort of my pre-proposal, I think, for the next round of funding. And I'm very interested in hearing back from the community on that sort of thing. So yeah, grab the app and join the Discord. Go hang out with Rick on the hosted platform. You can go to stream.place, and yeah, we'll take things from there.
Amazing. Quick comment from Eli. I mean, I'm super excited about this. Congratulations on reaching the stage. I have been feeling the billionaire blues, so I think it's really nice to try to start thinking about what is the kind of a new web look like, where we own our data, where we own what we're creating. I think that's a really incredible leap forward. So that piece, and the other piece on the on-chain treasury side, there has been at least, you know, people kind of that I've talked to, there's been appetite for this like idea of a credit SPE. It kind of was shell from the ink side. But I think that, you know, kickstarting different, you know, companies or quote unquote SPEs, right, that are building within Livepeer's ecosystem, that are delivering, you know, meaningful technology as well as products, I think is a strong approach in terms of like treasury utilization. And of course, you have been around forever. You've worked at Livepeer forever. So I think this is like a good maybe proof of concept of that idea. Potentially, of course, you know, I'm not who's voting on everything, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I do think that there is some interest. Also, Stream.tv might have a question, so I'll bring them up or him up. And also, Eli, Rick asked a question about how do we get leads / early adopters for you. Is that too soon?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would say direct them toward. I mean, either you can just send them to me on Discord by all means, or also just send them to. I posted the link up there at invite.stream.place to get them on the sort of early access list. We're building a sort of community of beta testers there. If any of you wants to join, we'll get you in there, get you in our like the private Discord channels that we're using to coordinate among the like very first people streaming on the platform. Yeah, I think that's the.
And I think he
that's the-
also was talking about like hiring for these roles specifically.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Discord or you can just send them support.stream.place. Actually, no, I set up jobs at stream.place.
Okay. Stream TV, did you want to comment quickly before we have to move on?
Yeah, just a short question. First of all, Eli, I was testing Stream Place myself, and it's
Awesome.
very cool. Like maybe a chat feature will be like adding more interaction because I didn't like experience the chat. And if there are any like plans to integrate this decentralized streaming into existing Web3 platforms, we would really like to know. Like whether now or in the future, I think that this feature like would be very much appreciated by our users, like the ability to have your stream like immutable. And we like me myself is following like on whatever you're doing for like almost for the last 6 months, even more, even longer. And Kodus.
Right on. Yeah, so chat is the number one requested feature from everybody that's used it so far. It really the presence of a chat feed really does feel like the difference between like streaming into the void and streaming into like something with an audience. So that's like my number one feature. We're currently shipping like the actual version of the mobile app that you can get push notifications when people you follow go live, that sort of thing. So yes, chat soon. Chat soon, transcoding soon, for sure. The main the other question, and this is something that has changed a little bit since the original aquarium proposal. While I do love the idea of building sort of like platform agnostic platform that works over a variety of social networks, I think that's something that we still want to go toward in the future. With just me starting, for a couple of reasons. One, because it's just me, and one because and also so we're targeting just the app protocol right now, and that is a staffing concern. But it's also just like there's a piece of it there that is that's what I think there's like tremendous opportunity there because it's just like it's brand new emerging platform, and we will be the first. We are right now the first live video platform that's supported on it. And there's also just a piece of it that we're having worked with a lot of other sort of like decentralized social projects in the Web3 space. There's a lot of like unanswered questions that the app protocol does provide, like where is all this video hosted? How do you like authenticate with an account, that sort of thing, that I think they provide some compelling answers to that I don't necessarily get from stuff I've worked in the past with like Lens and Farcaster and that kind of thing. So for that reason, we're targeting the app protocol right now. Still would love to have the technology stack support more things in the future. I should also say that like the full signing flow is done with like Ethereum wallets and Ethereum identities exactly the same way as a Livepeer broadcaster does. So it's like still very much tied into this technology stack behind the scenes. And we just need to figure out how to sort of like tie it into decentralized social, that sort of thing.
Amazing. Noma, any questions, or are we good to, I think, move on maybe?
I think we're good to move on, but yes, thank you, Eli. Eli, super impressed, and I think it'll also be quite nice to, alongside the events and community team, maybe add stream plays to our multi-streaming
Yes,
stack.
please.
That could be really cool, to make it sort of like a ritual for us, and maybe other events happening within the Livepeer eco. So, thank you so much.
Great idea.
Sounds awesome. Thanks very much.
All right. I think we have just about 10 minutes left, so we'll just breeze through our governance updates and reminders. I will hand over to my colleague, Jose, to cover this segment.
Thank you, Noma. So yeah, to finish the call, we'll go through some governance updates and things that have been happening in the last month. If we go to the next slide. So one thing we would like to promote in these calls is also some SPE ideas that have been popping up in community and in conversations, but that at the moment are leaderless. So because here we have a very capable audience, we always like to remind people that there are some projects or high priority SPEs that are at the moment looking for people that can develop them or lead them. And one of them is the protocol security SPE. If you've been following the forum and Discord conversations, Doug suggested that the Livepeer community can take over some responsibilities from the Inc. And then there are some committees that can be decentralized, like in the case of the protocol security SPE. So it's currently in forum discussion. It's not a pre-proposal yet because it needs people to come over and apply or show signal they're willing to participate in this. So if you're not aware of what is the protocol security SPE, come to the forum, take a look at the proposal, and then if you think you're fit for participating in this SPE, just contact us or put a reply in the forum, and then we can follow up on this SPE. Another one is the Livepeer hack. This was something that has been in talk for a while because Livepeer is an infrastructure protocol. So we always want to attract very high quality builders. And before there was a person that was starting the draft for a hackathon focused on Livepeer, but at the moment this has not gone through. So if someone feels entitled to continue this project on a hackathon focused on Livepeer, please let us know. Same for Credit SP, whose goal is to subsidize Livepeer credits to attract more creators so they can experiment with the network without the high cost that implies. And Delegator SP, which aims to improve the delegation UX so that people with less technical knowledge can also participate by delegating their LPT. And this needs improvement in UX to ensure network stability.
Just a quick comment. The credit SP is what I was referring to when I was when Eli was on the stage. That has evolved. The credit SP could also be, giving chunks of LPT to folks who are building companies and products in the Livepeer ecosystem who show promise. So potentially, I don't know where Eli's going to go with things, but that could be an early experiment with the idea of a credit SPE for proof of concept. So yeah, keep going, Jose. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. So things governance. We are also improving accountability and community reporting. So we like to keep this cadence that for every monthly Treasury Talk, existing SPs publish their monthly updates. So if you have not done yet, we are very excited to see your updates in the forum so that we can also record them and they will be reported in the SPE dashboard so the community has easy access to see all the progress that SPEs have been doing. And there have been some discussions also in Discord addressing social fatigue in Livepeer community, if you follow those conversations, there are some members of the Livepeer community that participate in many working groups and even in multiple SPEs. So they feel that the amount of events and calls that we've been having in Livepeer is a bit too much for them. So with this in mind, we have been discussing how to merge some calls and how to reduce the burden of meetings for these high context members. So for this, we still need to polish the details, but basically there was a suggestion that one water cooler chat that happens every week on Mondays becomes the Treasury Talk. So we will confirm this in Discord in the upcoming days or before the next Treasury Talk is scheduled, but probably will change a bit the cadence will be still monthly, but it will be one water cooler chat will become a Treasury Talk. And ecosystem events cadence will be revamped by community and events leaders. So we will make sure to properly inform about all the changes, but just wanted to address this in this call so that everyone is aware that probably Treasury Talk, for example, will not be happening on Wednesdays anymore. It will be on Mondays instead of a water cooler talk.
Can I make a comment there?
Yeah.
So on the community end, you know, at least from my perspective, we take the community feedback super seriously. So, you know, my job is to empower y'all to grow the Livepeer ecosystem and the network. With that said, you know, we are pushing through a lot of events to try to start up the flywheel, especially for top of funnel. However, if people are feeling like things are too much, or if people are feeling like, you know, hey, I don't feel like these are high value, we'll definitely consider all of that feedback. And, you know, of course, we want to take into the account the body of feedback we're getting. So we like changes won't always be made so quickly, but I do take how people feel seriously. So on the event side for community events, we are going to keep things mostly the same. One emission is in the last 2 weeks of January. The cadences were, you know, pretty screwy. So we have now made it a consistent cadence February on. So we're going to try February with, you know, the events not overlapping and all the events falling on 2 weeks. And hopefully that gives people some breathing room. And I also want people to know that every event don't have to attend everything, right? As the community grows, as we have more activation within our community, there's going to be a lot of things happening. Treasury Talks, as well as Open Ecosystem Call and the announcements I post in Discord, I'm going to try to make sure that there's a succinct way for people to know the shape of what's going on without having to attend everything. So trust that we'll keep you updated there. And of course, the GovWorks team will be participating in that effort too.
Yeah, exactly. So also to make sure that everyone is aware of the latest state of the events, we created a Treasury Talk thread in the forum. So now you can get updated on Discord, in Livepeer calendar, and also on the forum to make sure that there are no confusions around meetings.
Yeah, and
Next
just to
slide,
add
please.
on that, I think, we're really trying to also cater to asynchronous participants in the Livepeer ecosystem. So just keeping that thread in the forum as a single source of truth for call notes, action items, and so on. And yeah, I could probably just take this. I know we are right at time right now, so thank you all for sticking around. Just wanted to highlight a couple resources from GovWorks. I spoke a bit about the Governance Hub, which is a central repository for all things SPE, GovWorks support. It also hosts the SPE dashboard, where you can get an overview of all SPEs in the pipeline, existing SPEs and their updates. We have a contact form in there. We just mentioned the update thread, and also wanted to highlight once again this really cool vote tool from the Cloud SPE to visualize governance activity on the on-chain voting portal. I think it's also really cool that you can add your rationale for votes as you ratify or you know vote down on proposals. You can just say why. So that's a really cool tool, and I added the QR right there for you all to scan. Check it out. Slide.
Oh, sorry. I want to scan it to see the tool.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was like, you need more time to scan it. Okay. I encourage you to scan it. That's like super helpful. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you to the Cloud SP for that. Um, and yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments, I don't even think we have time for Q&A, but feel free to drop in chat if you have anything else that you would like to share. And then you can also take it to the governance thread here in Discord, where we'll be able to respond to you asynchronously. Yeah, final notes. Please scan the QR code to signal your interest in contributing to the Livepeer ecosystem. Even if you are attending these governance calls, it's also really great to get your info registered within this link. It's a Luma link. That way we can pass on updates about Treasury events, SPE news, any earning opportunities for contributors, or even collaboration opportunities, and much more.
Oh
So please
no,
take.
this is actually the Discord. This is not the Luma one. Apologies.
Oh, okay. I wanted to. Okay, cool,
My
cool, cool.
mistake.
I'll just put the Luma link
Yeah,
in
so
chat.
this link will bring you to the Discord if you want to connect and start thinking about your own SPE or join another SPE. You can jump into our community. But Nomo's going to drop the link for the Luma in chat. Apologies.
No worries, no worries. And we'll just do a bit of segmentation for our next call because we do want to get your info in that Luma. It's really, really important to help us, capture your interest and be able to, follow up adequately. And yes, that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for attending the February Treasury Talk, for your engagement, for your collaboration. And yeah, these proposals that we mentioned will be shaped up further and posted in the forum where you can leave further feedback. Any last words, Anne or Jose?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for showing up, for participating. Thank you everyone on Twitter for watching. 2025 is going to be a super exciting year for Livepeer, not only for Inc., but for the community as well. So I really encourage people to jump in. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming up that not only can help you in your Web3 career, if that's what you're interested in, but help you build, an incredible future where we're censor resistant, where we have real-time video AI, where we have agents helping us do things. Livepeer is shaping up to be really incredible. So yeah, jump in now before it's too late. And the field is super busy and it's hard to get in. So that would be my last thing. Yeah, buckle up because it's gonna be exciting.
And if anyone has any tips on how I can mute the Discord notification sound when I'm speaking, I do not exactly how to do that, but it's always going off, and I'm really sorry if the
You're okay.
notification was buggy. But thank you all once again, and see you in the next Treasury Talk.
All right, see y'all. Bye.